Hello and welcome, beautiful souls, to my podcast Midlife Alabahare, where we embrace the spirit of continuous rebirth and celebrate the wonders of midlife transformations one episode at a time. I am your curious host, Bahare, and I couldn't be more excited to embark on this journey of self-reflection, lifelong learning, healing, authenticity, and acting to continuously elevate our lives from ordinary to extraordinary with you all. If you're in your 40s, 50s, and beyond, or in the midst of a midlife adventure, or simply seeking inspiration from all walks of life to invigorate your soul, join me in this real life podcast. Midlife stands, an echo of life's sweet embrace. Inner child whispers in the heart's secret space. Threads of gold weave through life's intricate braid, a timeless charade where dreams in midlife cascade. Allow me to introduce you to the unsung hero living right within you, the one and the only, your inner child. We've all had our pin-sized moments, and guess what? That mini version of you is still hanging out backstage, setting the vibes. The catch? Many adults haven't caught on to the wonderful little companion they're carrying along with them. It is like having a tiny roommate you forget is even there. Even if we've been unintentionally neglecting them, that little buddy is always there, quietly seeking some love and care. Sometimes we don't even notice the child is in the room. It is like they're right there, but we are in the dark about it. Not being able to see them is a bit like being in the dark about something important. Think of it as having this cool but slightly mischievous sidekick, the unresolved emotions and experiences we carried from our childhood. It's that mini me, the mini you, the inner child, pulling some strings in our grown-up behavior. So, let's befriend this little buddy and maybe get to know them a bit better. Who knows, it might even shed some light on why we do some of the things we do as adults. After all, that inner child is just a grown-up version of the little tyke we used to be. We've all got these two versions of our inner child, the nurtured one and the wounded one. So let's dive right in. The nurtured side. Picture a childhood filled with love and support, setting the stage for a grown-up life filled with self-confidence, positive vibes, and smooth relationships. Expressing emotions comes easy, and feeling good about yourself is the norm. Now imagine being all grown up, yet those little things that once made your heart dance still bring you joy. It's like giving yourself a pass to chill, embracing that inner child living rent-free in your heart. And feeling seen and heard, it's like having your personal cheerleader or being your own laid-back detective, channeling some Sherlock vibes without judgment. Letting your creative side loose is pure joy, whether it's painting, writing, or diving into something artsy. And when your inner kiddo says, "Hey, I need a break," you're all about creating a cozy retreat, a snug blanket for your soul, complete with a do not disturb sign for quality nap time. Rocking disciplined self-care like a health guru is your daily superhero move. Acing the adulting game like a pro, taking care of yourself is a straight up heroic. And let's not forget about boundaries. It's like setting the rules for this grand adventure called life, ensuring the journey stays safe, enjoyable, and, oh, so smooth. So, if you're taking off these mini adventures, kudos. Your inner child is probably doing a joyful jig, and you, my friend, are the superhero orchestrating it all. Here's to navigating adulthood with that playful spirit intact. Now, the wounded inner child went through some tough stuff in their early years. Maybe neglect, perhaps some emotional scars. In adult life, trust issues, struggles with self-esteem, and maybe some self-sabotage become challenges. If you catch yourself stuck in the comparison game or blaming others for life's hiccup, your inner child might be waving a red flag, saying, hey, we need some love here. And if you're rocking the mindset that you're not enough or there is never enough to go around, your inner kiddo might be dealing with a scarcity vibe. It's time for some tender, loving care to make their world more positive and nurturing. Ever notice yourself building walls or going mute when things get tough? Yep, that's an SOS from your inner child. Those walls keep the dragons out, sure, but they also keep out the joy, spontaneity, and curiosity your inner child brings to the table. Now, if you're constantly betraying your own needs or struggling with setting boundaries, your inner child is practically screaming, help, please. Setting boundaries is not about a strict rulebook adult. It's more about being a wise guide, showing them the ropes while respecting their curiosity. Feeling like safety is an endangered species in your world? Your inner child needs a comforting chat. There's this little explorer ready for adventures, but they gotta feel safe to spread their wings. Safety is like a magical force field saying, be yourself here. When your inner child feels safe, they unlock this treasure box of authenticity. Here's the real talk, my friends. Most of us have a mix of both. It is not like you're only one or the other. And the cool part, therapy and self-awareness are like superhero tools for healing and growing. It's a journey, not a destination. All right, let's dive into the magic of connecting with your inner child. The quirky, charming you, both the wounded and the nurtured sides. Here's your personalized game plan. Meet and greet. Picture this as a reunion with a friend you haven't seen in ages. Take a moment, nod to your inner child, and tell them, hey, I see you. It is like acknowledging their joyful giggles and tender vulnerabilities. A simple, hey, I see you, inner child, is like a warm welcome back. Give it a try. Hug and accept. Now, imagine opening your arms wide. Your inner child might carry wounds, and that's perfectly fine. Embrace them with acceptance, no judgment, just love. Tell your inner child it's okay to feel hurt. You're safe here. It's like giving them a warm hug, saying you're accepted just as you are. Wrap them in a cozy blanket of acceptance, assuring them you're okay, wounds and all. Reparent. Here is where you become your own superhero parent, showering your inner child with the care and love they might have missed out as a kid. When we were tiny humans, we learned how to meet our needs from the big humans around us, usually our caregivers. But here is the twist. If those grown-ups didn't have their own needs met when they were small, it could create a bit of a cycle. Now as grown-ups, we've got this instruction manual for reparenting. It's on us to teach ourselves the tools, ensure our needs are met, and give ourselves the tender, loving care we might have missed out on when we were kids. In a nutshell, this journey is like rediscovering an old friend, your inner child. Nod to their presence, embrace their wounds with love, and become the superhero parent they always needed. It's a reunion worth celebrating. You might be wondering, Bahari, this is great. How do I reparent my inner child? It's like giving the younger you the love and guidance they might have missed. Here's your easy to follow game plan. Ready? Take some notes. Promote loving discipline. If you say you'll do something, just do it. This is going to help you build trust with your inner kid. Create comforting daily routines your inner child can rely on. It could be as simple as a morning stretch or an evening cup of tea. Say no to things that don't serve you. This is you showing your inner child that you're looking out for them. Hold boundaries, even if it gets tough and uncomfortable. Reassure your inner child by saying, hey, you're safe here and your needs matter. Take the time to self-reflect. This is your chance to check in with your inner child, to recharge and just be. This is something that I personally am struggling with, and it's my mission over the next 21 days to actually get closer to my inner child and get close to my emotions. Clearly state your needs without judgment. Giving your inner child a megaphone and telling them speak up, you matter, is going to go a long way. Cultivate serious self-care in your adult life. Snuggle up early for quality sleep. Sometimes my friends laugh at me because I go to bed literally at 9:30 and they tell me it is so early, but it gives me a chance to get the quality of sleep I need because I'm a morning person. Then I get up fresh at 5 o'clock in the morning and I can get a whole bunch of stuff done. Do what works for you. Cook and savor home-cooked meals. Throw a feast for your inner child's senses. I love eating food outside, but I have learned that cooking food at home nurtures my body better because I put love into it. I cook it with intention. I use quality ingredients. Try a 5-minute meditation or longer. Create a peaceful retreat in the middle of a bustling day. I do this quite often. Sometimes I just take a moment off and go sit there and be mindful. Move your body for at least 5 minutes by celebrating the joy of movement. Spend time in nature. Take a trip to your inner child's favorite playground. Let them feel the earth beneath their feet and soak up in nature's beauty. Sometimes when I walk on the grass, I take my shoes off and people look at me. But that's me grounding myself. Who cares what people say? I'm spending time in nature with my inner kid. Let the sun touch your skin, soaking in those feel-good rays as much as you can. Connect with someone you love. A heart-to-heart conversation to light up your inner child's world. Take time to dance during the day. Dance freely, sing loudly. Invite your inner child to let loose in your own private dance party. Nobody's watching. Embrace the unexpected. Let spontaneity be the guide and do something unplanned. Find a new hobby or interest. Curiosity leads the way. Listen to your favorite music. Sing along and let the beats transport you. Do something you loved as a child. A time machine adventure. Play with toys, like I'm playing with Legos. Relish a favorite treat. Indulge in an adult coloring book. Learn to regulate your emotions. Practice deep belly breathing to calm your inner child. Inhale the good vibes, exhale stress, and repeat. Observe how different emotions feel in your body. What does happiness tickle? Where does frustration and fear pinch? Get curious. Notice what triggers you and pushes your buttons. Identify and navigate those. And allow emotional responses without judgment. Imagine your inner child on a river, and emotions are like different boats passing through. Observe them without diving in. Just let them flow. It's all about reconnecting with your inner child, showing them the love they deserve, and creating a life filled with joy and self-care. Our show is about midlife, so we obviously have to talk about inner child and midlife, right? Let me start by this quote. Midlife is the second chance you give to your inner child. A chance to let them lead, laugh louder, and dance with unbiased joy. In midlife, hanging out with your inner child feels like diving into a magical escapade with an old buddy. Picture stumbling upon a chest of childhood treasures tucked away in your soul's attic, eagerly waiting to be rediscovered. Your inner child is this mischievous sidekick nudging you to embrace the whimsy, curiosity, and pure joy that once lit up your younger days. In the realm of midlife, your inner child takes the role of a spirited guide, cheerfully pushing out to revisit activities that used to make your heart race or skip a beat. It's like having a co-pilot insisting on detours to explore the vibrant side streets of nostalgia, stopping at the imaginary ice cream truck filled with carefree moments. Who can resonate? But it's not just about replaying the past. It's about injecting your present with the vibrancy and spontaneity your inner child radiates. Imagine cracking open a time capsule filled with laughter, dreams, and an unfiltered zest for life. Midlife transforms into a playground where you and your inner child swing higher, slide faster, and dance without a care. Yes, adulting brings responsibilities and serious decisions, but with your inner child tagging along, everything is seen through the lens of a playful wisdom. It is this magical fusion of grown-up duties and childlike enthusiasm, crafting a symphony of joy and fulfillment. So in midlife, welcoming your inner child is like reuniting with a dear friend who whispers that life is an adventure meant to be experienced with wide-eyed wonder. It is the secret ingredient that turns the ordinary into something extraordinary, transforming the journey of midlife into a whimsical tale written with nostalgia's ink and the sparkle of a perpetual youth. Rediscover your inner childlike bliss in midlife. Imagine midlife as your exclusive VIP pass to rediscover that enchanting childlike wonder within you. It is like getting the golden chance to dive headfirst into activities that once made your heart do a happy dance. Embracing the full force of your playful spirit, we're not just talking good vibes. We're talking about vibes so vibrant, so lively, and downright infectious that they'd make a party jealous. Now here you are, armed with this golden opportunity to hit the reset button on adulthood and embrace the whimsical joys of yesteryear. It's like stumbling upon a hidden treasure chest filled with laughter, curiosity, and enthusiasm. Midlife becomes the ultimate playground where you can reclaim those forgotten delights and proudly wear your playful spirit like a badge of honor. And don't care about what people think. That's the most beautiful part. Remember those things that used to make your eyes lit up? The sheer thrill of losing yourself in activities that brought unfiltered happiness? Midlife is shouting, my friends. Why not relive those moments? It's an adventure where you not only reconnect with your innocent, but supercharge it, infusing your life with a kaleidoscope of colors and a soundtrack of giggles. Think about it. You're not just an adult handling responsibility. You're an explorer on a mission to revive the magic of youth. Whether it's dancing like nobody's watching, indulging in childhood treats, or simply reveling in the simple pleasures. Let me share a personal adventure. During my escapade in Antigua, I found myself with a couple of extra days to spare. Seizing the opportunity, I intentionally wandered into a city where I knew neither a soul nor the lay of the land. It was freedom in its purest form. No obligations, no concerns. All I needed to do was surrender to the beauty of the unknown, relishing the experiences as I wandered through unfamiliar streets. The thrill was in getting lost, soaking up the surroundings, and eventually charting my way back to the comfort of my hotel. How divine. So my friend, grab that VIP pass. Dive into the pool of nostalgia. Cannonball into the sea of lightheartedness. And let the vibrant vibes of your inner child be your guide. After all, life's too short not to have a little fun. And midlife? Well, that's your front row ticket to a spectacular show of rediscovered innocence and limitless joy. Healing childhood scars. Now let's dive into this midlife journey. It's like stepping into a cozy therapist's office, where the echoes of the past and the promises of the future decide to have a deep chat. Picture this moment as your exclusive chance to sit in the self-discovery chair, a spot where you consciously hit pause and reflect on the bumps and bruises from your childhood. Now, as we navigate this introspective session, the real superhero move comes into play. Healing those lingering wounds. It is not about erasing scars. It's about acknowledging them as part of our story. This courageous stride towards healing is a testament to our resilience, a commitment to dig into the layers of our emotional history and tend to those tender places within. Let me tell you about my friend Sam, cruising through her mid-40s, stumbling upon an ancient journal from her teenage years. Classic teen angst and drama, right? But here's the kicker. As she flips through those pages, she starts noticing a recurring theme of self-doubt and insecurity. Instead of brushing it off, Sam goes all therapist on herself. She takes a deep dive into self-reflection, peeling back layers of her past. It's a mission to understand teenage Sam. And it gets real. Through this process, Sam starts building a bridge to self-acceptance. She's rewriting those old scripts of doubt and insecurity, giving herself a fresh narrative. In her mid-40s, she's basically giving teenage Sam a pep talk and saying, "Hey, it's all good, you're welcome, and you got this." Who knew an old journal could have sparked this whole journey of self-discovery and self-love? Go, Sam. Now let's talk about Mark, the high-flying business exec I crossed paths with in one of my journeys. Successful guy, right? But guess what? He ends up at this retreat all about bringing out your inner child. Serious business guy doing kid stuff. Building blocks, trust falls, who knows? During all this fun and games, Mark digs up deep emotions from his childhood. And get this, he doesn't just brush it off. No. Mark faces those feelings head on, looking his inner child square in the eye and saying, "Hey, I see you." It's a light bulb moment, a real mindset shift. And would you believe it? This guy, usually all about the boardroom and numbers, goes through a transformation. He starts growing personally, healing old wounds, the whole shebang. It's like the retreat cracked open a door to a whole new level of understanding himself. So there you have it, Mark, the big shot executive, taking a detour into his inner child's world in midlife, doing some soul searching, and coming out the other side with a whole new perspective. Who says you can't mix business with building sandcastles? Now let me spill about my own healing journey. With a whopping 36 years gap from my mom and early losses of my dad and brother, it's been a real quest. Facing that fear of losing people has become my thing. Every hangout or chat turns into a love fest for me, appreciating and expressing love. My gratitude journal is my safe haven, a ritual where I hand over worries about my loved ones to the universe. It is a weight off my shoulders thing, surrendering the fear and feeling this cosmic protection and support. Mindfulness has become my superpower, soaking up every moment with my loved ones, savoring shared experiences without letting future uncertainties crash the party. It's a journey, but celebrating, journaling, and fully soaking up the present with my loved ones feels pretty darn amazing. I'm the unexpected surprise, the unplanned addition to a family of 5 kids. A bit of an oops moment, you know? Despite the accidental entrance, everyone grew to love me. But that age gap, it felt like having multiple sets of parents, feeling left out, and the weight of expectations became a roller coaster as I grew up. Being the last child meant dealing with the unplanned entrance age gap, the struggles, the expectations, and the never-ending quest for validation. But hey, it's all part of the journey, right? In essence, this therapeutic journey through midlife is an act of self-compassion and empowerment. It's an intentional embrace of the complexities that make us who we are, humans. A commitment to understanding our emotional landscape. It's about saying, hey, I'm complex, and that's cool. This is not just about healing, my friends. It's about rocking the audacity to face the tough stuff and come out on the other side stronger. Think of it as a mindset makeover. We are growing a garden of resilience here, self-love, and feeling awesome right now and in the future. Creativity and expression. Midlife shows up, and suddenly your inner child waving a flag and yelling, "Time to unleash your inner Picasso." It's like this creative alarm goes off. And guess what? It's the golden moment to dust off those artistic dreams you tucked away. Let's dive into the world of painting. Maybe back in the day you loved throwing colors on a canvas, but life got hectic and the paints ended up buried in the closet. Well, now it's the time to unearth them. It's not about becoming the next Picasso. It's about relishing the joy of expressing yourself. And writing? Oh boy, that's a whole journey. Remember those teenage journal entries? Well, now you can take it up a notch. Start a blog, jot down short stories, or delve into poetry. It's like giving your thoughts a playground to dance freely. I'm definitely gonna write a book. Now, doodling, that's my personal favorite. Grab a notepad and let your pen roam. You don't need to be a pro artist. Just let your mind doodle away. It is surprisingly therapeutic. And who knows, you might end up with a masterpiece or a funny cartoon that brings joy to your face. My midlife art adventures is like a creative buffet. I dipped my toes in everything. Seriously, everything. Started with jewelry design, then I dived into the world of custom greeting cards, adding my personal touch to birthdays and holidays. Wait, there is more. I got into the whole Cricut craze, playing with vinyl, feeling like crafting wizard. It became my DIY heaven. My space turned into a canvas for my wild ideas. Oh, and during COVID, I fell into the cozy world of knitting. Needles and yarn became my sidekicks during those long, alone times. There's something oddly satisfying about creating with every stitch. Scarves, beanies, you name it. I was on a roll. Unraveling yarn turned into therapeutic ritual. It's like knitting my way through the midlife roller coaster. So picture me, needles in one hand, Cricut doing its thing, surrounded by my crafted kingdom. Because in midlife, why settle for just one artistic expression when you can have a whole palette of creative adventures? I was knee-deep in all things crafty and artsy, because why not? Midlife became this canvas for me to throw every creative idea at it. It's not about perfection. It's about the sheer joy of making something with your own hands. If you're thinking about trying something artsy, just go for it. Trust me, it's a whole lot of fun. Authenticity and vulnerability. Time to kick those masks to the curb and fully embrace the amazing person you are. Midlife is particularly yelling, be authentic. You've been playing roles, trying to meet invisible standards, and then, out of the blue, midlife taps you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, it is time to be real." Like, really real. So let's talk about ditching those societal expectations. Remember those times you tried to fit into the mold that just wasn't you? Yeah, been there too. I've got this friend who spent ages pretending to love a job she wasn't passionate about. Sounds familiar? Midlife hit, and she said enough. She took the plunge, followed her passion, and now she's rocking it with her own flower shop. It's like she found her authentic groove. Then there is Steve, a buddy from our hiking club. In his early 40s, he switched gears during the pandemic, from crunching numbers as an accountant to capturing moments with a camera. Crazy, right? Now he's out there chasing sunsets and snapping smiles. It's not just a career change. It's like they found a whole new world aligned with their passion. It's witnessing someone come alive. Midlife for Steve wasn't a crisis. It was a revelation. It's proof that you can rewrite your story, find your authentic groove, and thrive. Here's to bold ones who say, enough, and take that leap into what truly lights them up. Now, let's dive into my life mantra, Oscar Wilde's gem. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Seriously, it's not just a quote for me, it's a lifestyle. Midlife's like this giant neon sign flashing authenticity needed. For the longest time, I tried to balance what was in my head, heart, and hand. But here's the plot twist. I got sidetracked. Why? Well, people and their expectations. They can be like these invisible magnets pulling you in every direction. Remember my religious days? Picture this. I'm trying to fit into this mold of a religious figure, but my authentic self was like, oh, no, not happening. The pressure to conform was insane. And trust me, it left me feeling drained, stressed, basically a walking ball of exhaustion. It's like wearing someone else's shoes, uncomfortable and blister-inducing. So I sat down, made 2 lists, one for the stuff that felt pure and authentic, and the other for the things I did just to fit in. Surprise, surprise, the not-so-authentic list won. Time for a change, right? And vulnerability, oh boy, that was the secret sauce for me. Remember those times you hold back the messy, the imperfect parts of yourself? Midlife's like, nah, let it all out. So what I did? I waved goodbye to a community that cramped my authenticity style, stepped away from folks who weren't cheering on my realness, even axed some classes where I felt like I was juggling what I believed in and what I was teaching. And vulnerability, I went all in. Yeah, there's this fear of criticism, judgment, people raising their eyebrows. But you know what? The fear didn't bother me as much as the pain of not living my truth did. It was like, all right, world, this is me. Take it or leave it. And you know what happened? It was like shedding this heavy armor. The fear of fitting in suddenly felt smaller than the freedom of being true to myself. So here's to ditching the fake, embracing the messy, and living unapologetically in midlife. It's a game changer, my friends. I tossed the act of fitting in out the window, embraced Oscar Wilde's wisdom, and decided to live life as a feather on the breath of God. And you know what? It is quite liberating. Sure, some people may prefer you in a different shade, but hey, you're not a chameleon. You're you. Authenticity isn't always easy, but it's worth it. So here's to being yourself, even if it means standing out a bit. Cheers to real deal. I've had my share of vulnerability revelations, sharing my passions, admitting my mistakes. It's like a weight off my shoulders. And you know what? People connect more when you're real. It is like building genuine connections become the new rock star move. Midlife authenticity is like a liberation party. Ditch the masks, be the real you, quirks and all. It is not about being perfect. It's about being authentically, beautifully, and wonderfully you. Rock on, my friends. Parenting and nurturing the self. Guess what? Midlife is like this golden opportunity for you to step into the role of a superhero parent. Not to save the world, but to create this magical haven where your inner child can bloom and thrive. So here's a sneak peek into my parenting adventures on the front lines of my own midlife. Picture me, once upon a time, running around like a headless chicken, trying to do it all. But you know who I forgot in the chaos? Yep, my inner child. Can you believe it? So I'm making this conscious declaration. It's my turn to be the parent my inner kid needs. First up, love. I started really showering myself with love, especially during the pandemic when I was alone. It's like giving my soul a warm, fuzzy blanket. Self-love today is my daily mantra, consciously loving myself a bit more every day. Then self-care. I used to think it was some luxury, like a spa day or something. But no, it's those everyday acts. A quiet cup of coffee, a stolen moment with a good book, monthly facials, a daily skincare routine. It's like giving my inner child all the treats she's been craving. And let's talk personal growth. Feeding my mind with things I love, like great books, seminars, online programs, things that make my soul do the happy dance. It's like a garden of knowledge. And guess what? I'm the caretaker. Now here's a real life story for you. Being an immigrant meant living in survival mode for as long as I can remember. High school had me juggling 3 jobs, and this hustle continued through earning degrees and master's degrees, while also holding down a full-time job and keeping a home running. The pressure to meet expectations. Oh, it was so real. But in midlife, I hit this turning point. Learned the art of setting boundaries and saying no without drowning in guilt. It is like breaking free from expectations and embracing a newfound sense of control over my own narrative. Taking care of my inner child. Am I there 100%? No. Am I actively and intentionally taking action? Yes. Midlife is this chance, my friends, to parent yourself. Imagine your inner child cheering you on, saying you've got this, because creating that perfect garden for your soul, that's the ultimate superhero move. Cheers to parenting ourselves in midlife. Joy in simple pleasures. Let me whisk you away to the ultimate midlife shindig, where your inner child is the DJ, spinning joy from everyday moments. I want you to picture this. Life's been throwing its curveballs, and there I was, caught up in the chaos. But midlife, oh, my sweet midlife, became my DJ booth. Now, finding joy and bliss in little things and simple pleasures has become the name of my midlife game. I no longer wait for the grand moments. Instead, I celebrate the everyday magic, like that first sip of coffee in the morning, pure liquid joy, or the 30 minutes of self-hypnosis for bliss before I even leave my bed, setting the tone for the day. And oh, that blissful wake-up call from the man I love. It's like a melody that starts my day on a high note. Even catching a glimpse of a sunrise or sunset that paints the sky in hues that feel like a personal masterpiece is pure magic. And the happy dances, oh, they become a daily ritual for me. Whether it's nailing a tricky recipe or finding a parking spot right near the entrance, cue my mini happy dance. It's like celebrating the victories, big and small, and turning them into a dance party of one. Then there is the confetti of gratitude I sprinkle on everything. Grateful for the messy kitchen after a dinner that is a reminder of the ability to eat quality and healthy food. Thankful for the old photos that hold a history of amazing experiences, a visual journey through my life, or the surprise discount I did not expect when I picked up a new monitor the other day. And of course, my health and safety every time I hear a siren, a moment to appreciate the present. It's like looking at life through the gratitude lens, and suddenly everything becomes a reason to celebrate. So midlife is not just a halfway mark. It's a dance floor of joy and bliss. It's about embracing the little things, doing happy dances, and showering gratitude like confetti. Life's a party, my friends, and your inner child is here to make it epic. So cheers to dancing through midlife with joy in our hearts. Balancing responsibility and play. Let's talk about the grand adventure of adulting in midlife. A wild ride of responsibilities. And here's the secret sauce: playtime. Life's throwing responsibilities at us left and right, like some cosmic test. Bills on one side, deadlines on the other side, family matters, the whole adulting drill. But guess what? In midlife, we'll learn to juggle responsibilities with a style. It is like being in this adulting adventure zone where responsibilities and playtime go hand in hand. So here I am, buried under work accountabilities, household responsibilities, feeling the weight of adulting on my shoulders. But here is the twist: playtime to rescue. After a crazy week, I decided to throw a curveball into the mix. A spontaneous road trip. No plans, just me, the open road, and maybe a questionable playlist. It was like hitting the reset button on my adulting stress levels. And you know what? I've got some upcoming staycation days, and I plan to take a couple of aimless trips to the nearby towns just to explore a new coffee shop that has been getting raving reviews. Imagine spending some alone time with a cup of java and an amazing book in a new town where I don't know anybody. Talk about boosting those dopamine levels. And let's not forget about the little doses of play in my routine to ignite my inner child spirit. From impromptu dance parties in my living room, and sometimes in the bathroom, and picking up beads during the holiday season to rekindle my love for jewelry making. It's like rediscovering joy amidst responsibilities. Balancing the circus of responsibilities and play has become my life's greatest act. It's not about neglecting the grown-up stuff. It's about infusing a bit of playfulness into the mix. Trust me, it is the key to not just surviving, but thriving in this adulting adventure. So there you have it, my friends. Embracing the inner child in midlife is a quest of self-discovery, healing, and a truckload of joy. It's like merging the wisdom of adulthood with the epic authenticity of your inner kiddo, creating a life that is not just good, but downright fabulous. Here's the thriving in the adulting adventure with a playful spirit. So let me spill the tea on midlife. It's like this magical chapter where I've become the superhero parent to my inner child. You know, the one I might have unintentionally ignored back in the day. Now, I'm all about showering myself with love, diving into self-care like it's a spa day every single day, and soaking up the knowledge to feed my soul. I've learned to set boundaries and give society's expectations the side eye. It's like this awesome journey of reparenting myself, turning midlife into a period of self-love, growth, and defying the norm. Bottom line, midlife is my chance to be the caring parent I've always needed. My friends, as we navigate this midlife adventure together, let's make a pact to be our own superhero parents. Embrace your inner child, shower yourself with love, and dive into self-care like it's a daily ritual. Set those boundaries, defy expectations, and turn this journey into a celebration of self-discovery. Why wait for the extraordinary moments when we can find joy in the everyday magic? Let's dance through the midlife with playful spirit and make it downright fabulous. Ready to join me on this journey? Cheers to thriving in the adulting adventure with authenticity and joy. Remember, your inner child isn't bound by time. They are the timeless echo of your truest self. Let midlife be the grand reunion where you dance together under the sunlit memories. Until we meet again, peace out. Now let's get the legal stuff out of the way. Midlife Ala Bahare is a personal podcast. All content is provided strictly for general information, education, and entertainment purposes. Any views or opinions represented in this podcast are personal and do not represent those of people, institutions, or organizations that the owner may or may not be associated with professionally or personally, unless explicitly stated. Any views or opinions are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, or individual. Any use of the information from this podcast or material linked to it, whether to the podcast or website, is undertaken at the user's own discretion and risk. It is not intended to serve as a replacement for guidance from a qualified expert, nor is it meant for diagnosis or treatment. Thank you for supporting my podcast.